Bleach is packed with countless battles throughout the series. When we think of the best fights, what might come to mind are Ichigo vs Byakuya, Ichigo vs Grimmjow, or the battles between Aizen and Ichigo, or Ulquiorra vs Ichigo. But what about probably the most emotional fight in all of Bleach? This fight is one of the first ones. To be specific, the fight takes place in episode 9 in the anime and in volume 3 in the manga. Past flashback. In June 17th, Ichigo's mother, Masaki Kurosaki, picked him from the martial arts studio. In that time, Ichigo was so happy, especially when he saw his mother comes to pick him up. They both had a very close connection. Masaki loved Ichigo so much she was ready to sacrifice her life to save him. In that day, on the 17th of June, they both walked next to a river. Ichigo, who was able to see spirits since he was born, saw a kid next to the river, a kid who was about to jump into the river. Ichigo hurried to the river to save the kid, not thinking twice. Masaki spotted the threat and ran to save Ichigo. When Ichigo opened his eyes seconds later, he realized his mother is laying over him, bleeding and dead. Later, after Ichigo met Rukia, she suggested that the hollow was the thing that killed Ichigo's mother. Ichigo was shocked, because he thought and understood that he was the one that caused his mother's death when he chased the kid and Masaki saved him from being eaten by a hollow. Masaki was the center of the family, and everything that went on with the family revolved around her. Due to this fact, Ichigo's family was greatly devastated by her sudden and ultimately death, in which all three of her children have changed after her death. With Ichigo no longer smiling, while Karen had stopped crying, and with Yuzu taking over Masaki's role of being a housewife. In episode 9, when the family comes to the grave, Grand Fisher, the hollow that killed Masaki, appears in the grave and encounters with Yuzu and Karen, hurting them and threatens to eat them. Ichigo rushes to the grave in his Shinigami form to make sure his sisters are safe. He sees Grand Fisher, which is wearing the form of the kid Ichigo saw next to the river, the kid that he tried to save back in the day. Grand Fisher tells Ichigo that he was his beginning target, but after seeing Masaki, his thirst for women's souls was larger and he decided to eat Masaki's soul instead. In that moment, Ichigo realizes completely that the hollow was the killer of his mother, and it is the hollow that stands in front of him, the hollow that also threatened his younger sisters. Ichigo, without a second of a thought, storms towards Grand Fisher in order to slay him and avenge the death of his beloved mother. Grand Fisher easily takes the upper hand in the battle and manages to injure Ichigo to a fatal state. When Rukia begs to Ichigo that he will let her help him, he shouts at her and refuses because this is a battle for pride, a battle that Ichigo must win by himself in order to destroy the monster that killed his mother and broke his family to pieces. Grand Fisher, one of the most dirtiest hollow that exists, uses his ability to create the form of Masaki in front of Ichigo's eyes. Ichigo, unable to hurt his mother, suffers yet another blow from Grand Fisher and is about to soon die. As it seems the battle is over, Grand Fisher attacks again, but a brief beam of light appears. Masaki's last wish to save Ichigo takes place, as her aura stops Grand Fisher for a moment when she tells Ichigo how proud she is of him and her family. Masaki tells Ichigo to live, to be strong, to be gentle, and to smile. She thanks him as she disappears into the darkness. Ichigo uses the last drop of his energy to injure Grand Fisher, causing the hollow to escape. For me, this is the most emotional battle in Bleach, even more than the fight versus UH. But what do you guys think? I would like to hear your opinions on the subject. Don't forget to subscribe to see more.